You want me?
On a wintry Monte Carlo afternoon, Helmut Newton shoots the new glossy spring catalog. Scandal has often stalked the work of both Helmut Newton and Saint Laurent in their controversial representations of women. Today, it's more commerce than art.
Oh, I'm a great fan of it. You know, it's a great master. But I don't know whether I like that picture.
No, wait a minute,
the picture looks stupid.
First of all, I've got to do it this way.
Do you think it looks dumb?
Well, it's not fascinating, I must admit.
No, it's not fascinating. It's not fascinating. It's not fascinating. Yeah, not fascinating.
Give me the
It's
non-fascinating
not
one.
fascinating.
Helmut Newton is not always fascinated by more recent aspects of Yves Saint Laurent's ready-to-wear collection.
I don't like a woman that's 150% feminine, which what I've just photographed now, of course, is 150% feminine. It's very, but it's also very, sort of cute and corn-fed looking.
Helmut Newton is reminded of a more radical past.
There's a picture that I took in 1975 of in the street where I lived in Paris at night of a woman in a suit, in a double-breasted suit, and it's a spurt of the way he saw women at the time, and it's the way I like to see women. Oh shit! Don't worry about the hair.
Non, c'est le bolero là qui s'en va complètement.
Take this. All right, stay like this now. Good. No, that's perfect. Don't move now.
Time seems to have caught up with the young radical, who now designs for the well-heeled establishment he once shocked.
The fingers voila, I see them. Good, 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 good.
In 1967, the first of 120 Yves Saint Laurent ready-to-wear franchises opened in London's Bond Street, selling clothes, accessories, and perfume. The young ones of the 60s can now be seen initiating their young ones into the art of the Yves Saint Laurent spending spree.
Hello, Claire.
We've come to look for something for Claire's 21st. Big occasion.
Claire, how wonderful. Lucky you.
We don't know quite what. Claire's got some ideas, but maybe
So my house on the snaking suit.
maybe we can just show her a few other things today to make sure that really is what she wants.
Something for a party. That for a party. Superb. In gold leather.
She did love
That's lovely.
It's a bit restricting, isn't it?
The lace bustier dress.
It is pretty.
That will be lovely on you.
Happily, there were veterans on hand to show how it's done.
Yes, the color here is perfection. Like that. Good. That's one thing done.
And that's 2 and 3 and 4.
Everybody has a budget nowadays, and particularly now. But I'm not under sort of pressure. It's left to my discretion.
No pressure at all if you've got around $15,000 for a seasonal outlay.
So there's the classic smoking. This one.
That's the one.
Well, I've probably been looking at my mother's cupboard now for 20 years and dreaming of wearing Yves Saint Laurent myself. And she's always had, like, the smoking suit. And I just think that is Saint Laurent. I mean, it looks like Saint Laurent. It has that wow quality about it. And I've always wanted the smoking suit ever since I could remember it.
With le smoking now a staple of the wealthy wardrobe, surely Yves Saint Laurent must eat his words.
Je déteste les bourgeoises, je déteste leur esprit, leur intransigeance, leur goût aussi, oui.
But it's that very taste-buying $1,500 suits that he has to thank for his ready-to-wear success.
Yes, it is expensive, but I really think it's going to last for many, many years. And I do feel that with Saint Laurent clothes, that the initial outlay actually pays for itself at the end of the day, because you can wear the clothes for so many years and readapt them. But the actual initial expensive outlay over the years, I think it does pay itself off, actually.
But the big payoff came when the designer who hated the bourgeoisie and a businessman who wanted to be an artist struck a licensing deal that took the exploitation of an elite fashion business into the mass marketplace.
I don't like business very much. I like art.
The perfumier's art, the launch of Y, brought him $2 million profit from the start.
And I don't like money. not at all. I don't respect money, in fact.
The impact of Yves' naked body was nothing to disturb what he, Berger, and Charles of the Ritz whipped up in 1977 when they launched a new perfume, shockingly named Opium. At $100 an ounce, the heady, spicy scent sold more in a month than Chanel No. 5 did that year. Opium ads offended the American Chinese community and were banned in Australia as an encouragement to hard drug taking. The entire launch was a publicity coup.
They took a Chinese junk and had it in the East River down by South Street Seaport. And the whole thing was covered with lanterns and lit up. And they had a dinner on this Chinese junk. Then they had a fireworks show afterwards, and they spelt out Yves Saint Laurent and fireworks over the East River, and then opium over the East River.
The temptations of perfume licensing, grossing $500 million a year, proved addictive.
I'm a businessman just because I was obliged to be a businessman. What can I do?
I did the opium perfume campaign for Yves Saint Laurent for 8 years. And the first few years, they didn't pay me very well. But the last few years, they started, paying me well. And he was so furious about it, And
about them paying you?
Every time that he saw me, he'd always say, "You're so expensive. You're much too expensive. It's outrageous how much money you're getting, And eventually they got someone else,
In the late 70s and early 80s, Yves Saint Laurent perfume and products were bringing in huge licensing fees. But the murmurings of discontent with the fashion collections was why they were being subsumed to product marketing. But the genie was out of the bottle and wasn't going back. As Berger has said, Yves Saint Laurent, the man, had become a label. Having sold Saint Laurent's name and made millions, Berger had a plan to get it back and make even more.
He teamed up with de Benedetti. They raised an enormous amount of debt to buy back the perfumes, which transformed the finances of Saint Laurent as a business, gave them control over their perfumes, allowed them to defray their marketing costs. It really was of inestimable advantage to them. He then managed to go public, and he raised capital, so he paid off a lot of the debt. But the structure of the deal for going public enabled Berger and the founding shareholders of Saint Laurent to retain control of the business. So in financial terms, it was an astonishing coup, and it was something that sort of so-called serious mainstream big businessmen really haven't been able to replicate. So you've got to admire him for that.
Because in one day, on est passé d'une entreprise commerciale grande réputation, mais quand même un petit peu pas très grande, en une multinationale qui couvre le monde entier.
The company was moving further and further away from Yves' source of inspiration, fashion, which now accounted for only 1/10 of the business. With the burden of licensing deals, makeup lines, perfume, and now skincare products on his shoulders, Yves Saint Laurent, the icon of the French fashion industry, struggles on. Some say just to satisfy the shareholders.